would I do both?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because this is an emergency broadcast, so.
It's an emergency broadcast today. So I felt like there's nothing more fitting than to we hired a new production team because we figured this is like on the spot because we know this is a crazy episode, high production that we need to get into. So we're just gonna get into that right now. No, not right now. No. Sorry, we're kind of.
Sorry, we hired.
Welcome to episode 17, emergency broadcast of the Black Truth Podcast. Give you a very special episode. Just get right into the news, fresh news.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to do that intro. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nicholas Myra with the Black Truth Podcast. It seems like we got something crazy going on in the news today. Do you want to start?
It's not nothing much in the news. There actually is something in the news. Anyway, today we're going to. Obviously, this is the biggest thing that's happened
since the election
today.
Probably.
Yes, honestly, since the election, the most important thing that's happened today, that has happened ever, honestly, is this brand new Idubbbz video. Now, to me, this is kind of a throwback because I remember. I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, just going home, like this was probably like 8th grade, freshman year, like you go home and then you see it, they're like, oh shoot, there's like, oh, but this is also back in the day where like you weren't on your phone all the time type stuff, so like you didn't even know what was gonna happen, but you always knew. I think the YouTubers that we used to watch, they did it on purpose. They would wait until like 3 to drop the videos. Because they knew, hey, these kids, they're gonna come home. Their parents don't want to really talk to them. They're not doing sports because they're fucking fat as fuck or whatever. But they have this new YouTube drama video to talk about, and this kind of felt like a throwback.
This was a big throwback. It definitely. I had what was it, like a kick of nostalgia when I saw the.
Because I told you.
Well, I knew, but I already knew that he was gonna do a content cop. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be about Sam Hyde, to be honest.
Yeah, people were saying that Idubbbz right here, he was gonna do a content cop Sam Hyde because they had a big argument. But people were saying no, it's not gonna be Sam because it's like he's never gonna bring him up. But there are some people that were saying, hey, this is gonna be about H3 because H3 and Ian had some problems. But it was kind of like it kind of felt like because what I assumed is that they weren't really good friends at this point in time, but they were like friendly enough to each other. But it seems like the past couple of months or so has been getting nasty between them. So this felt like a throwback, but at the same time it felt like it wasn't even like a crazy revelation, but it was more just like, okay, Idubbbz fucking sucks.
You know what this video kind of felt like? Do you remember like waiting for like a certain video game, or I guess like a comic for your case, and then like it comes out and you're all like, oh my god, I'm so fucking hyped, and then it comes out and you're like, oh fuck, that's what it is.
Kind of that, but I also knew it was gonna be kind of trash. That this video was gonna be trash because it was like. Because obviously he hinted.
Idubbbz is obviously not himself anymore right now. But not ever again.
But he hinted at this like 5 days ago, like on a Saturday, and I was like what? Content Cop is coming back. Keep in mind, I think he's deleted all the other Content Cops, so it's kind of like, hey, what's the point in making another Content Cop if there's like no continuity, unless like you were there back in the day. And like, imagine you're a new fan and you're like, "What content cop?
Content cop? What's a content cop?"
Like you see him playing with like hamsters and like mouse traps, and
talking
you're
about what is it, door-to-door salesman?
Yeah, talking trash about those people, and you're like, "Well, what is a content cop?"
Getting his ass beat by the
Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
Like you thought I'm just a big boxing fan. I just really like the boxing events he hosts.
I thought he was the guy that did the what is it called, the Airsoft Fatty video.
Just like his you know, it's funny too because he stopped doing the documentaries for obvious reasons. But yeah, he came back with this video, and I told Nick right away. I was like, honestly, we're gonna have to do an emergency broadcasting for this just to get our thoughts in. But I kind of waited a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I literally mean like 2 hours because I felt like after I saw it, it was just like the internet. Honestly, right now the internet's still on fire from this video. At least our corner is still on fire, just because. Like, it's so dumb. Like the video was the thing with Idubbbz is I've noticed this ever since the Sam Hyde documentary. They're high quality, but it's like he knows how to make a high quality video, but
they suck.
Yeah, just the personality is just the void. Nothing's in it. So
well, it's like what I told you before off air, where it's you can have all the production, but if you don't have the charisma, then it kind of just defeats the purpose. It's kind of like what I told you about like Zerka's content. His content fucking sucks from like a production point of view.
Yeah.
But he's able to like pull in an audience because of his personality, and that's like that bitch. What the fuck is her name? Anissa.
Yeah.
She took it completely out of him. She sucked his fucking soul dry.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's horrible.
And fucking Sam Hyde was trying to save him from her.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do.
Literally, because my sister was telling me actually that Anissa was his first piece of ass.
How does she know that?
She keeps up with the John. She keeps up with all the. She keeps up with everybody, dude. Not like.
Yeah, I don't. I was just saying, like, how did you know? Does she like know Anissa or whatever?
Yeah, like no, she's Islamophobic, but
yeah.
But my sister, she was watching videos about them as a couple, and she said something along the lines of, "There's a huge possibility that Anissa was his first girlfriend, first piece of ass, and everything." So that's probably what fucked him up, because like now that he finally has his trad wife, you know, it fucked him up. It fucked him up a lot. So let's
get into the video. Honestly, we're probably gonna have to like times 4 or whatever at certain points, but we'll see. This is honestly the best part of the video. There's this like
seeing his saliva.
No, there's a little intro. That's really it.
Accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too.
I hate this thing that like.
You can press the space bar too if you want to.
Okay.
You're already.
Sorry, I'm illiterate when it comes to technology, but I hate this thing that like millennials do. Well, I guess it's like the younger millennials where they get like tattoos and they space them all out.
I never noticed that.
You ever noticed that?
I just noticed
I think I saw Gavin McInnes talk about that. How like the new tattoos are fucking stupid because like they space them out. They get like one tattoo right here, and then one right here on their chest, and then another one on their arm right here. They don't ever like build like a sleeve. They just put random drawings all over their bodies.
Oh yeah, I get that part. I notice a lot of people they just get. I think the problem is they get like little shitty ones at first because they're like I don't know, and then like they never like build up off of that, and they don't ever want to get like a big ass one. I don't know. I'm not really into tattoos. But.
Yeah.
It's too far because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
What we do here is go back.
Why is he doing this? Like he obviously like didn't the old thumbnails used to be like straight up violent and everything, and he used to do like crazy stunts, but obviously those ones were like jokes. Even the people who were getting attacked, like Keemstar when he got attacked.
Well, when he was beating up the gnome, remember?
Yeah, when Leafy was getting attacked and everything, it was like a joke. But now he's just doing this because like, oh yeah, I like shadow box here and there. Yeah, we get, you know how to. You're flexible. We get it.
I think this is like funny for like. I don't know, like. The creator
What I'm saying is that it was funny before, but now it's like you can kind of tell it's a revival. But then at the same time, he's like taking out stuff. It's like when I don't know, the MCU movies, they stopped using film or whatever, and they start compromising and everything. It's like this is just like a watered down version.
Basically, when they bring back like more fucking IPs, sucks.
Yeah.
That's basically what this is.
What people were saying as a joke, they're saying that this is like a recession indicator.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Because he sucks once he got LASIK. He sucks. Like his face sucks now. He doesn't have big ass glasses covering his
Remember when he
beady
had
eyes.
cancer?
Yeah. This isn't really even funny. Oh
What's
my
up,
gosh.
everybody? I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Hassan Broadcast.
I'm about to like
coming to you live from a cloudy day here.
some of these parts are just cringe.
The reality of the matter is, it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite. It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke, and he was right about that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to skip some of these parts because like there's nothing really to say for these.
That bitch is satanic.
Why? Because she has her breast out.
Bitch is telling you to wake up.
Oh no, wait, because then she say something. She just say something
Oh, this
crazy.
fucking Allah Akbar.
Ethan, wake up. Wake up. Since anyone? Just wake up.
It was just unfunny.
How is this funny?
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Shut up, bitch.
I'm not gonna do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's told you to wake up, Ethan.
Yummy, I love Sabra hummus.
It's time to wake up, Ethan.
This is what people who like can't actually say anything like. Well, they do say offensive things, but they obviously they want to be seen as like, for this video, they want to be seen as like, oh no, they're just like fun people. This is what like, yeah, this is what like.
Wake up.
This is what people who like can't do funny stuff anymore think is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. B is funny. I mean, we did that thing too, but
Yeah, but that's when we actually say like slurs and we actually make,
and we're criticizing like the food industry and everything.
yeah, but like these guys like it's like they want to do like a callback to the days where they used to be actually say offensive shit, but it's like they're so like what's the word, neutered that they
Yeah.
can't.
Well, some of the Twitch people like.
Yeah, but they say offensive things. They'll be like, "Oh, Sky Daddy."
Well,
that's their type of humor.
Didn't Hassan literally like threaten to kill like a politician like a month ago, and he got banned?
What the fuck?
He got banned for like 2 days,
I forgot about that.
and so it's like it's not. It's obvious that he's trying to please like this audience of e-celebs that surround him. Okay, I want to speed it up a little bit. That video is kidding. I would have
All right.
diagnosed myself
I
like
didn't
that.
plan on
Could've
making a
done that.
content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3, content cop, Idubbbz. Ethan Klein out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hassan Piker. Content cop on Sheldon of Ackett. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's got to be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot. It's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years
That's true. They
can't find a
backstabbed
spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a
Oh,
lot
can I
of
say
people
a
who
dark
might not be
joke?
familiar.
Go back to Hila.
Uh,
Right there.
I'm going to tell you a story
Wait, hold
about
up.
Ethan Klein. I know some of you.
Blue
3,
tag.
content cop, Idubbbz.
All
There
these
you go.
fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
Palestinian kids when they beg for mercy.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content
This is
creator
the only
who
part that
has a
was funny,
podcast
though.
where he says all sorts
just
of
when he
what's been
takes
going
these
on over
random
the past couple of
photos.
years. So Ethan, as you know, is a
That
content
was like some old school like humor seeping in, but I don't think he realized. I think it's just like innate in him, that type of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things kind of triple out a little bit, just showing photos of people.
creator
Yeah,
who
I
has
did
a
notice
podcast
that,
where
yeah.
he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hassan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hassan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface
Yeah,
level
it was
progressive
fire.
shit and make fun of right
That
wingers.
nigga
And you're
was
telling me
fat
he
as
didn't
fuck.
flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no.
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, the fancy invented was okay, yeah.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
Was just eating the toppings out. The pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I don't know if you can make that joke.
Obviously, like in the video, like obviously he still has that thing in his head from the old content cops where he can just like edit stuff together and it proves his point and everything. But he like the thing with Hassan, he's literally media trained. Like he already knows all like the words and everything. It's like how like remember we were talking about why Brazy and he was arguing with those like honor roll Hispanics. it's that same thing where it's like, oh, just because this guy knows the script doesn't necessarily mean that he's
Correct.
more knowledgeable on anything.
They just know how to articulate.
By the way, if we're gonna get into this, Hassan, I wouldn't say we're on the same side as him. Sorry, I don't want my face to get in case Masad, you know.
Oh. In
In
case Elo finds you?
No, because I don't want the old H3 where he's fat and then they see me, they're like, what the fuck is he talking about? But, I mean, the whole beef, I guess Ethan's wrong, I would say. But he's mainly wrong because he cultivated these fans and he thought it was a good business decision. And now he's kind of reaping his failures from
You reap what you sow, and he sowed a fucking horrible.
I guess he knew at some point. Well, a bunch of liberal Jews did this when the October 7th thing happened. They kind of started waking. I don't know why. They're very selective. They only want to get mad when it's like, oh, like I can actually benefit from it. But in general, like people like Ethan, they're like, oh no, I like all these people, blah blah. But for some reason, they have a blind eye to like the obvious like quote unquote anti-Semitism that their people on their side have. I'm not talking about their people. I mean people on like the left side. So he knew at some point he needed to separate. So he decided to separate when it got really hot because he was probably Young Turks. Come on, his uncle's Young Turk. So unless he's really really dumb and he just like didn't want to acknowledge it, he just looked the other way. So kind of just reaping what he sowed.
In 2021,
why?
It's insensitive to burn.
I think it's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for this.
Funny.
Ethan, the whole time, is more of...
No, but they're trying to say that Hassan's knowledgeable on all this stuff when not really. He just knows the spiel. He knows the spiel. While Ethan's like, oh, I'm just like a funny guy. And I guess his show, the Leftover show, he was just like, oh, I just want to make fun of Republicans because it seems to be in. And so he was like, oh, I'm going to get Hassan to do it. And, again, I think he was dumb for not being like, oh, well, also I think he probably didn't think it was going to ever get to like an October 7th level thing, that it was going to like break the show or anything like that. But...
the goof guy, and that's fine. You know, we don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. He served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this massive progressive audience
it's
that
like
Ethan
he accidentally picked the wrong crowd, because I think the crowd that Hassan Piker
is, adopted over the years, they're becoming
is
increasingly
like
critical of his position because now
I'm free Palestine, but I'm like a far right guy.
But I want to do is show you guys how I see it.
The type of people that I think Hassan cultivated are like the type of people that we see, like in Chicago, like downtown, where they have the Palestine flag, the Mexican flag, they're anti-white,
yeah, it's like the people who would like wear the kafaya and everything.
It's basically like you know how like Daily Wire, they try to show like liberals. Do you know what I mean? The kind of liberals that they like to show to the world aren't really like liberals that you see IRL.
Yeah.
The liberals that you see IRL actually can articulate a point.
Yeah.
And I think they're very anti-American and anti-white. I think they're more anti-white and anti-American than what you see on TV, like with AOC or Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
I think they're a lot more anti-white than what they like to put out. Basically, it's the same thing. Like even when like guys like Hassan Piker, when they show like, let's say Ben Shapiro or like some type of like Charlie Kirk, some like Con Inc. type of guy, right? Well, they'll make all these like retarded points about conservatism or America first in air quotes, and that's not really those aren't really the people that actually believe in America first. The people that actually believe in America first are people like us or people like Nick Fuentes or Myron Gaines.
Yeah.
And I think Ethan accidentally cultivated that real liberal audience that we see in the streets, like north side of Chicago and shit. He accidentally cultivated those guys, and because those guys are so hard, not hard, I would say hard right, because they're so I don't want to say anti-establishment because they kind of are, but they're anti anything that Republicans believe in, which is the state of Israel, that he kind of like fucked himself over.
No, I think it's worse actually. I think he deliberately kind of not all of them, but he surrounded himself by like younger people, and because all these guys, I think they're probably like 10 years younger than him, 15 years younger than him, and as we know, I don't know if you know, but I think most of like the Israel and Palestine thing, it's not even like.
It's a bipartisan issue. It's more about age.
No, yeah, it's more of like an age thing where it's like the younger you get, the more anti-Israel you're gonna be, like just generally in general, because you don't have any stakes or anything. And I'm like, oh, like if I say this and I'm gonna lose whatever, like we don't have those problems, so we can kind of afford to be that, and that's why they're trying to go after and say like, oh, like if we see you at the protest, you're not gonna get hired. And
yeah, because we're already broke as fuck. We don't have anything, so there's nothing. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do that Castro hasn't done to me already, basically.
Yeah.
Or Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Basically.
It can't be a bad decision that's gonna destroy your career when you don't have a career. At least at that point. That's why
about the money, it's about the
that's
message.
why. That's why they're threatening. Well, I don't want to go there. Well, my problem with this whole thing is like the whole LARPing as being, Middle Eastern thing.
Yeah, because
that kind of destroys it.
The Turkish people really aren't even Middle Eastern like that.
Yeah, so in all like the kafaya wears and everything just like annoy me. Like
why
why can't
people
like,
wear that? I'm just being devil's advocate.
Same. This is all the same thing. My thing is like, why can't you just say it's a bad policy and just leave it at that?
Well, I think the reason why they do it is the same reason why we identify.
We're gonna end this podcast now? We're gonna have to end this one too now?
No, why?
Oh,
you're making it me. My bad.
We're gonna have to end this podcast too.
No. I'm saying like I think the reason why we identify with Save Europa, right? That kind of like ideology or whatever, is because we see what's happening to these people IRL, and it's the same reason why these guys LARP as like sand people. Because they identify with their struggle or whatever, and we identify with these guys' struggle. That's why we wear Doc Martens and stuff like that, and we wear what we wear, and we you know what I mean? You get the point that I'm trying to make?
Yes, but I think it's the LARP is kind of corny.
So do you think we're wrong for LARPing as
no, because I live in America.
Oof. That's a deep cut. Yeah, okay. You know what? You got me there.
A lot of people are pissed about it.
So Ethan is having this back and forth with his liberal audience.
The most you should care about is just care about the fact that we're funding them. We're funding the genocide. Yeah, we're probably gonna get taken down, but whatever. Well, I might be going too far with this one, but maybe we shouldn't be paying for all this.
Leftist people online, progressive content creators, Hassan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork.
Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no, go there.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hassan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like Idubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy's evil and he's doing anti-Semitism, and also he's way out of my weight class.
Fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there. I used to work with...
By the way, we're laughing just because a Jewish person saying anti-Semitism all the time is just funny.
Yeah, it is.
Like they say it for like any excuse. Like they get like a full coin. They're like, that's anti-Semitism.
With this video editor named Froggy Tonic,
they'll be like, well, why didn't you show mercy on those Palestinian kids that were walking? Because of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, Like, I'm not going to endorse it, I'm not going to retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess I just missed, my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th of this year. Now my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the 2 podcast streams where Ethan and Hila...
It's the same thing that all his videos. Maybe he's always done this. Even I'll be honest. Even with when the Leafy video came out, I kind of thought it was bogus. I was one of the few people that thought it was kind of bogus, what he did. But also at the same time, I was like, we can make fun of everyone. Doesn't really matter. I still like Leafy. I wish we'll make videos come back, but I also like, everyone can make fun. Even when the Keemstar video, I was like, I'm not one of these people that just because someone makes a hate video and it goes viral, like I'm
stop watching them completely.
Yeah,
that's the way I was with H3. Like H3 started like after the Leafy thing. Remember the Leafy rant?
Yeah.
That's when people started like switching up on him. But when they really started switching up on him was when he came out with the podcast. But I was like, no, this is my guy. Like. You know what I mean? I liked his podcast, even though everybody else thought it was like a shitty podcast. Like it was a good like I like podcasts that are kind of shitty. You know what I mean? Like when it's just people talking. The whole point is that you're watching people talk. They don't have to be experts in. It's like us talking about movies or us talking about music. Are we fucking musical experts? Did you go to college? You got a degree
For all you know, I only use
or music. Neither did I. Right? Well, we can still talk about it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the fucking internet. People get on the internet, they get on a forum, they get on a fucking podcast or a YouTube video, and they talk about whatever they like. That's the whole fucking point of the internet. That's why I don't understand why people were hating on him so much back in the day. Like when he would talk about mental health, for example, right? And then he would say like, "Oh, well, maybe if you go outside for a walk, then it'll make you feel better." And then all these fucking like blue pill sissy fucking latte drinkers were like, "Oh no, you can't talk about that. You're not an expert."
That's his anecdotal evidence. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I'm objectively correct.
Use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not going to throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not going to throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself.
Why did he fucking dye his hair?
Cause that nigga, there's like this thing that me and my sister were talking about. Like, there's people that like make jokes about themselves, right? And like that's fine. Like you should have. I think self-deprecative humor is funny, but I think some people they take it so far because they don't have any confidence in themselves. And I think that's what Ethan's issue was. Like he lost any kind of confidence in himself. So he's like, let me just make a complete fucking buffoon of myself. Because there's even worse fucking pictures of
yeah, I know, but this is obviously the era when he was trying to turn his life around and cut off people. And so he lost the weight, but like, come on, like doing this with the hair, like that's, cause there was a point where he completely let himself go.
Yeah.
But this is like a total 180 where it's, oh no, he could be a freaking alpha male guru, honestly. The way he
probably
looks
look
like
at his fucking jawline.
Yeah,
that nigga looks like
Ra's al Ghul from Batman.
Literally, he looks like a Jewish warrior. Like, have you ever seen those old Jesus
in the mirror when you
movies?
have sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's
No.
what how does he know I'm watching
King
already?
David.
He's been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you've said and done, and I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments.
The train spotter.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like.
We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that
No, he just looks like a skinhead.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Redneck, like a redneck.
Maybe an extra on American History X.
He just looks like a redneck. That's he looks like. Remember that one the one guy that tried telling Nick Fuentes not to be like a KKK member when he was like literally a KKK.
Yeah.
This is what you and he literally like he upped the estrogen and everything. Oh my god! Like look at this. Oh my gosh! I'm just gonna have to.
Make that the thumbnail.
This is just horrible. Like, why do you do this? Like, don't get LASIK, bro. There's no point in getting LASIK. It's gonna wear
What's
off.
LASIK?
LASIK is a surgery where like you don't have to wear glasses.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's no point in wearing.
Yeah, that nigga looks stupid as fuck.
I'm a bad friend, and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslight.
What a fucking loser. Like this is the main thing. I think people still are not, like, even after the video has come out and everything and we get to see his side, the main thing people are kind of noticing is like, bro, like, he's treating it like, oh yeah, like oh, we were friends back in the day, you know, 2016, whatever, meme, blah blah blah, we were cool, so that's why I was so cool with him. No, bro, you were going on fucking H3 to promote your fucking boxing event, and he was like, cool, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm still gonna have Idubbbz, I'm so cool with Idubbbz. You guys were basically the last holdouts of like the kinship that people used to have in 2016.
Literally.
So people would see you guys like two talking and be like, yeah, no, it's cool. Like,
And they did a bunch of videos together on
actually, no, I'm wrong. Cold Ones is like kind of a last holdout.
Yeah,
too.
I was thinking about. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, Cold Ones is the last. Oh my god, yeah, they are.
But when you see like it's like when you see like Lil Wayne and like Ye together, and you're like, yo, that's like 2018 shit or 2008 shit right there. And you see the two of them, you're like, oh well, maybe, you know, things are different now, but you know, it's kind of cool that people can still hang around.
Do you remember when people were calling out Idubbbz for not having Sam Hyde on the thing, on the boxing event? Yeah. So he did a pod with fucking H3, and for a minute, because you know I'm like being brainwashed by the nostalgia, I was like, wow, maybe Sam Hyde is a fucking prick. For a minute, because they got me, they emotionally manipulated me.
With me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I've probably done and stood by Idubbbz more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relation.
Like he just brought this up just to say like,
even though he looked out for me, it doesn't matter. That's basically what I'm hearing.
No, what he's saying is that he's using the defense as like a shield. I mean, you know, they like using people as shields, but
relationship feel very
but like I don't get what he's just being like aggressive, being like, oh, I don't like that you guys brought it up, just because. Well, like, bro, all these people that you know are getting like that. That's what it is. Like he doesn't want to call these people out and say like, oh, don't do that, because I do feel like these guys were actually way cooler than it seems like, because he's making it seem like, oh, they weren't really that cool.
They were just internet friends. He's trying to do to H3 what he did to Keemstar. Remember when Keemstar kept on saying that him and Idubbbz were friends?
Yeah.
And they only like talked to each other like once.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do to fucking Ethan. But these niggas really were friends.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part about it. He was one of the first guests on the H3 podcast too. Like the first like 2 or 3.
Reoccurring guest. That's the main. He was a reoccurring guest. He would come every year for Creator Clash. And he didn't have to do it, but obviously he's like, oh, I need some promo because no one's going to go to my freaking event.
Yeah.
So he's just being,
he's a fucking snake.
Transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this, I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I don't need any fucking...
tweaking.
That wrist thing, he does it. I watched the new one.
Uh-huh.
The new H3 that happened like right when this came out. He was still doing it. So I'm like,
you think it's like a Tourette's thing?
He has like 50 Tourette's thing. He has like he has the sniffing.
The eyebrow thing? Yeah, his Tourette's got fucking worse.
Being halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me, like, an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like Hassan.
He is talking about the content, but he's not talking about it from like an analytical point of view. He's talking about it from like a personal point of view, which is again losing the point of the content. I was telling Nick earlier when we were first talking about it the whole, like, obviously this is not really content cop. This is just him ranting, like venting about his problems with Ethan, and but it feels like the whole reason the content cop came out was just so that they could have this little skit in the beginning, and then this thing with Hassan, like just so, I feel like what happened is that they told him, or Nissa or whatever told him like yeah, bro, dude, you need to bring back content cop, bro, like do it with Ethan, or whatever. He was probably like, oh, well, I don't really have a problem with his content per se. I just don't like how he's talking about people. But his content's all right, blah, blah, blah. He said, no, you need to do the content cop. You need to bring back the cop and everything. Even though they told him for I don't know how many years, yeah, no, like this sucked when you did that. Like you hurt a lot of people. You hurt Ray Scum when you did that. You hurt Tana Mongoose or whatever when you did all those things. But now we need you to bring him back. So then he was like, okay, I guess I might as well do it.
Actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is
The complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila.
Like I just dropped the needle and he's still talking about the same thing.
Literally.
For the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that...
Bruh. Y'all were making videos. What was the last one they did? The last one where they were making fun of Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah, I think that was the last one. But yeah, they did plenty of videos together, dude. Like, these niggas were like real life friends with each other.
I wouldn't say that. It's like when they say like, I don't know, like maybe.
I think they were a lot closer than what he's making it out to be.
Yeah, right. It's like when like I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's the whole thing with Drake and Josh, where they were, like the perception that people thought like recently was that, oh no, they weren't actually that cool. Like they were just like on the show and like afterwards they just pretended to be cool. And then I think they had like a podcast like recently where they were like talking to each other and they said like, oh well, we had these problems and I didn't tell you about this, I didn't tell you about that, but actually we were actually way closer. But obviously Josh kind of threw him under the bus when he had those allegations and everything, and he was getting in trouble. So he kind of just went like, oh, like he did the same thing that Ian's doing right now, where because the block is hot, he's like, okay, I'm gonna like distance myself. And I'm gonna say that we weren't friends like that.
But Josh did that to him even back in the day, where he kind of like dissed Drake. And people, like you said, people thought that they really weren't as close as what we thought they were. But yeah, they've had that for a minute. Drake and Josh, they had that for a fucking minute. And I think the reason why Josh probably dissed them at first, before the allegations came out, I think was like, how do I say this? Like you know how kids, when they graduate from high school, and they don't want to talk to anybody that they went to high school anymore, like, like I don't want to be associated with people like that anymore. I think that was his thing at first, and the allegations came out, so he's like, fuck no, I'm gonna stay away from that guy. And then now it's like, oh well, now that we all have to feel sorry for him, I'm gonna be friends with him again.
Well, no. There was a recent podcast where they were kind of going over it.
Yeah, I saw the clips.
But they, I think they came out and they said like, no, we were actually pretty close because we were in, like, we've been so close together because they were in the same show before Drake and Josh, I think. But we kind of tried, or at least Josh, he did try to like distance himself because he didn't want to be typecasted as like, oh, I'm the guy who's next to Drake. And yeah, I just feel like he's doing the same thing where it's like, oh, I'm just trying to move away because I don't want to be anything resembling that era of the internet anymore. I want to be cool with the Twitch streamers now.
She's a good person, like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you?
Which person? Take Ethan out. Which person do you trust more?
Well, no, I mean Hila. Obviously, I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, I probably Hila more because see the thing with that girl Denim is she's too fine. You know what I mean? Like you can never trust a woman that's too fucking fine. Like, and I'm taking this from the Bible. I'm taking this from the Old Testament, so maybe it's something that Ethan and Hila can relate to. But even in the Proverbs, it says, "Don't allow your eyes to be don't be deceived by her beauty." That's not the exact quote, but I'm using scripture to like answer that. Tell me she's not the finest woman you've seen, or one of the finest women. Well, you have a more exotic taste than I do, but you know what I mean. Like she's a fine ass woman.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing like you, but it's different reasons. I just don't trust any.
I would never trust an attractive
any woman that's like in this chair. I automatically don't trust her.
You know who I would probably trust the most? Her, Pearl Davis, and Ela Pearl Davis, and who else?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, yeah. I mean, they're not
all the
ugly bitches.
Possibly think that they're both good people at their core. People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean.
You know, here's like a perfect example real quick because it just came to mind right now. It's like Lila Rose. I think she's pretty fucking hot for her age, right? But she cries about like abortions, like, oh, they're killing babies. And then like when people ask her about Israel, she's like,
really?
Yeah.
I never seen
She's
that.
pro-Israel, dude.
No, but like they asked her about the baby.
She made a whole fucking. Well, that's just me assuming, but she made a whole fucking podcast, like an 1.5-hour podcast. What's it called? A whole 1.5-hour podcast, like defending like Trent Horn and all the Jewish shit, all the fucking Israeli shit. Like, dude, how are you gonna sit here and cry about fucking babies dying in Planned Parenthood, but you're not gonna. I feel like if you're a true pro-lifer, you should be staunchly anti-Israel because they're murdering children. They're murdering fucking babies.
That's crazy because she defended George Floyd too.
Yeah.
Back in the day because she's pro-life, but she won't defend the Palestinian kids.
She won't defend the Palestinian. I mean, there's real life. Yeah, obviously you don't have to show them on this pod, but there's real life.
Show all the pictures,
all
like zoomed up.
Yeah, no, seriously, because they're really out there, and then people need to see this shit, and then they know that these fucking Con Inc. guys are all fucking not liars, liars and hypocrites. How are you gonna sit here and cry about Planned Parenthood when there's children IRL dying in fucking the Middle East? They're hypocrites.
I don't know about that. Let's go back to talking about these satanic
the point I was trying to make about Lila is that she's hot.
Yeah.
Like in a MILF kind of way, so that's why I wouldn't trust her either.
Say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know. I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships.
I like how ruthless she is.
They're kind of that way. Where it's like, you know,
I wonder where she gets her ruthlessness from.
The friend doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking. You're either my best friend who's deep throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Ela? Sure. Yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silent guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black students and...
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing.
Like the worst pics of him. Hold up.
To civil rights, you think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting to civil rights, you think that the people who are like with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white...
Hold up. You need to get...
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to this on just because, but...
Sorry, wait, you need to get this...
Black student.
Marching with the...
Like, he's getting the worst...
It's the worst fucking pics of them.
But I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
This is the problem. It's like, the whole video, we're barely like halfway through, but like the whole video... He's taking these shots at him.
There's no way that he's trying to be middle of the ground, because I think that's the way he tries to frame this video.
Well, he's framing it as a content cop. So, and there hasn't been a content cop that where it's like it's been treated like, okay, this guy could like redeem himself, except for this one. But at the same time, he's taking all this. They're not even like light jabs or anything. It's like It's just fucking.
Students and.
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing. Bring back this song just because, but it's kind of the same thing. Like I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely, harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hassan.
Like people like Anissa are the perfect example because she's friends with these people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our kid getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I fucking love Fila. Like she's just a straight like.
She goes straight for the kill.
Like, she's like one of those like characters. No, what she feels like is like when there's like a actor and he's like in a jokey role at first. Like I don't know, like Saul Goodman, and then like you see him in Bob Odenkirk. He's like a comedian for most of the time, so she's just doing all like these funny faces and everything. And then when shit gets real and she starts like owning like a clothing brand and everything, and she gets like her kids get her out, she's like.
Well, you know,
you kind of tried it. You kind of tried if you think about it.
I feel like a lot of like quiet women, because she used to be real quiet. I feel like they're really good at like throwing jabs at people.
True.
Because they let that shit.
I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming.
That's also what this feels like. It's like he's only attacking them because they're not a protected class. Well, I didn't know you can move this. Wow. I can watch anime a lot easier now. He's only attacking them because they're like a class above. Well, I don't know if I want to get that deep, but they're not like a protected class for like the era of the internet that he's on. Like you can attack them, like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is watching people shit
That's
and
so
giving
funny.
your unfiltered reaction to it.
That's
Why
also-
would you expect?
That's so funny about the Jewish thing, because it's like in one area of the internet they're like a protected
Yeah, on our
class.
side, it's our side. We can't talk about
Well, because we're on a different side. On their side, I guess they're not a protected class because they're pro Hamas. I'm just gonna call them that. And then for us, they're not a protected class because we're in the group that we're in. And then like, I guess somewhere in the middle, like old Democrats and like Con Inc. They're like a protected class.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Anissa, of all people, to say something to Denims. Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be commendable.
By the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is claimed, they're actually good people, like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wiped their asses.
This is the worst part of the video. It's because he talks about the what's it called? The where they call child protective services. He kind of just skims over that and he's like, yeah, if I would have said something, no one would care. This is a lot more about you than.
This is basically like the people that were like, oh, like.
Are you talking about the people in Nazi Germany?
Yeah, I was about to say that. They're like, well, what was I supposed to do?
Fucking
You don't have Giardia or whatever fucking the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's
Yes, it
difficult
does.
and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get it. Like, we're a little bit past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent.
First,
if you maybe accepted
when
the
I
phone
heard
call
him,
and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can
when I first heard him sniffing like that, it was when the child protective services thing happened.
Oh, the video?
Yeah, and when I first heard it, I thought he was like crying or he was about to cry.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw the video and I just heard it through my car and I was like, what? Is he gonna start crying? But then I saw the video and he was like sniffing. I was like, what is it, like Tourette's or is it Coke or whatever? Like, I don't know.
Or is he sick?
can tell you the way I've been behaving is
Well,
exactly
there's a
in
lot
line
of
with my
clips where
principles.
he's
Now we're
doing
going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here. Asmongold follows Frogan. No, Asmon. That means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up. We're going to want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hassan's in there. You'd think that Hassan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hassan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hassan because that's what he did. You got to be the lowest of the low.
This graph is like the equivalent of like the circle. Remember the circle in the same height, the irony circle or whatever? That's what this feels like.
Associating with the Frogans and the...
It's like he always need to have like a little pictograph or whatever to like prove
a Venn diagram.
Make himself like look smart.
Denims of the world. To associate with Hassan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hassan on Instagram, so Hassan is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on Anissa's and Idubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hassan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hassan. It's because Ethan is a coward.
I don't get what that means. Like, so he won't attack Stavros and
Theo Von because they're actually famous.
Because they're famous. No, he said just famous, not actually famous. He didn't.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to insinuate.
I guess it's a what's it called, Freudian slip. What he said is that yes, all this thing, they're all like, they're just my little friend group that I have. All these people over here, they're all just my little friend group that I'm just gonna defend. But these guys, these are the actual ones that you can't talk about because they're actual personalities.
Bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. But he's gonna keep that to himself because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. We talk about Bill Burr ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hassan's stream and he mocks your content nuke.
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that, and I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
You don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just gonna tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream. You're not touching it. Fuck you. You're a coward. It's just his job. That's just what he does.
I mean, what he's saying right here is basically that he won't punch up, but Ian's kind of doing the same thing. Like he won't punch up on like anyone like that's like higher than him on like the ranks and everything. He's gonna stay in his fucking, you know what I mean? He's not gonna talk shit about anyone that's gonna be too controversial, or he's never gonna go like he's never gonna do anything like the old videos again, because there's too much stake. Like, oh, I can't fucking have a fighting event.
He does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Red Link. So Red Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men.
It has nothing to do with the video. When I saw that picture of Stavros and Ethan, it's like I was thinking that's probably what it looked like during like the time of the disciples when the Jews were trying to tell the Greeks about Jesus. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
No, because they're probably fasting a lot.
Burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing around.
This guy Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife or in a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic, and he interviewed a fucking basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit, and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
So see, right now he gets into the button thing, and I don't understand what the problem is with this. Because from what I understand, he has Tourette's. Because he's treating it as like, Ian. I mean, he's treating this problem that he has as like, oh, he just doesn't want to like he just doesn't want to like admit accountability when he says something controversial. But I'm like, bro, he has like I don't want to be that well. If you're gonna be that person that's like respect everyone's disability or whatever, like
why would you make fun out of him for?
Yeah, because that's clearly the reason why he has this. Like, it's not just like that he has like a clear impulse. Like, you know, like you'll have like impulses sometimes. Just
you do a lot of censoring. Shout out to my guy.
but you know, okay, when to cut the line. But it's like if he clearly can't, and also if it's destroying the entertainment value, then it's like no. Like,
I think it's this thing where like.
He wants him. He expects him to be more media controlled than
I think liberals or Dems, right? I think they have like selective compassion, It kind of reminds me of like that black kid that dressed up like the terminally ill kid that dressed up as a cop.
Yeah.
And all fucking black people were like literally shaming him, and the nigga was crying.
Yeah.
And then when Trump made him the honorary head of whatever the fuck, none of the Democrats clapped. Like, this is a fucking terminally ill kid. I'm not a virtue signaler. Like, but it's like, come on, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I thought you guys were the party that cared about everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that all Democrats share, or all liberals and Democrats share in common with each other. They're selectively compassionate.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how, like, I don't know if they wait until, like, the consensus comes out, or if they just, in their hearts, they know, okay, I'm not going to, like, clap for that, or, like, oh, I'm not going to, I'm not going to defend that guy who should be free or whatever. Like, they always, like, it's, like, immediately they're like, no, like, he did this, blah, blah, because, I don't know.
But you think Ross? Yeah, well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Hila were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
People on the news probably have that button.
Yeah.
Like, people on talk shows probably have that button. So
yeah, it's kind of like when they were interviewing that one soldier in Afghanistan, and they were asking about Israel and if we should send them more money. And he's like, no, I think they have plenty of resources and plenty of money. And it just went to static mode.
Like, it doesn't sound bad. It's just like, it just seems like he's like he wants, like, the momentum to stop just because, oh, he doesn't know when to say the right thing. I don't really care. Like, if Ethan's whole personality is to say, like, the most outright, like he literally is the life of the show, so he should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants to.
That's why I like censoring. Like, the way when you do
yeah, of course you like censoring.
Well, because the thing is that I'm not gonna kill the momentum. Like, if I want to start spitting, you know what I mean? I can't stop. It's the Holy Spirit speaking. It's not me. I'm not the one doing the talking.
Yeah, I'll rather censor you than just, like, tell you straight up, like, hey, stop doing that.
Yeah, that's fucking gay.
Yeah.
Way. That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if this the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay. What? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like, their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state and refers to as goblin
I
mode.
did not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
Well, you got goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look how many times you paused.
I'm trying, bro.
And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that. Okay.
He used to be an electrician, and he's crying about their fucking work environment. Like,
really?
Yeah, he used to be an electrician.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, if you're a real man, right? Now I'm just kidding, but like, if you've worked down the trade, like, you know how like that's why I have little sympathy for people that work like in offices and stuff like that when they complain about their work environment. Like, oh my god, like I was sweating so much the AC was out. Like, okay, because he's gonna start like shitting on Ethan for the way he's treating the way he's treating his workers. The way he treats his workers is like, that's like Sunday school. The way he treats his workers. I know damn well Ian was called a dumb motherfucker and a stupid ass when he was an electrician. Hey, how are you gonna cry about Ethan's, like, I guess verbal warning or like,
Well, the way I'm thinking about it is that
they're all pussies.
if you're on the internet, you're basically like
a pussy. To an extent.
You want me to zoom in on you right now?
Yeah, you can.
So what I think is, like, if you're on the internet, you should be glad for, like, the and you're making money on the internet, and it's like and it's not even something that, like, oh, like, you have to, like, build up everything, like, I don't know, like MDE, where they have to like monetize everything on their website and everything, and only make, if you're on the mainstream internet and you're making money through that way, you should be glad. And be like, yeah, it should be like, yeah, well, it could be a lot worse. I could be fucking having to get an actual job. But no, you're just entertaining this guy that's paying you. So it's like, I don't know, just take a chill pill. I think these guys probably do too, but he's saying like, oh no, you're creating a bad environment. Gonna slow down over there? Buddy?
Yeah, it's just I'm getting to the end of my drink. I'm having vodka cranberry, and I'm at the end of the
boring.
Okay, what she did was abhorrent. And by the way,
just listen, your critique of... You see him stimming right there? Oh my gosh.
Every crew member has it bad. Like, to be around Ethan, period, it would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way...
Just don't. Listen, your critique of her is correct. It's just, you know...
I think he was stimming slowly, but since it was fast, it made it look a lot faster.
And fuck all these people. Go ahead. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just... Kelly is a black woman, right?
Yes.
Maziel is a...
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You've been such a buzzkill. Yeah, I don't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POCs. God.
You know, Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it. It was rude. It was nasty. And it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger. And it was uncalled for.
Use the actions to cover most of it.
Doing it.
What are you doing?
So awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not...
Just like, this is what I'm talking about. It's always like...
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh, no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I just thought about finishing Wednesday.
Friday. You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand up. What? Okay, well, all that. Thanks, button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it.
That didn't sound that bad. Maybe it's...
No, it didn't. I mean, okay, when you worked in construction, like, did you get yelled at hard or no? I know that's like a...
In general, for like entertainment, that didn't sound bad.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, well, maybe because I'm used to watching the Gavin McGinnis or Get Off My Lawn, which is Gavin McGinnis' show, and he basically talks shit to the production like straight up all the time. But it's kind of like a meta thing where, like, everyone who's watching the show is used to that relationship. But that wasn't that bad. All he said was like, no, like just fix the problem.
That's nice. He's being
considerate. And again, they should be lucky that they work there, because there's probably a bunch of other podcasts where also the problem is that if you work at one place and you don't like vibe with the environment, like, because I assume all these people, they just hire their friends and they just like have them get good at it, and then it's like, okay, well after that, like, oh, well, like, are you gonna work for another podcast? Are you gonna create another podcast? Is some other guy gonna want to hire you, knowing that like that you screwed up this guy's job or this guy's podcast? Or is it gonna be weird when you go to, like, I don't know, what's another podcast, like I don't know, the Danny Brown show, and like you're working with that guy, and so I guess once you lose one job, it's kind of hard to leave. So I guess that's why they stay there. But it didn't really seem that bad. It's just he's not projecting, but I don't know. It's just
gaslighting.
Yeah, he's making something seem way more insane. But also these people, cause I think like anytime like there's like a production problem, like the people, like his fans on Reddit, they always take it like they always take it too far, because I think they sympathize more with the producer more than they do like Ethan on these things. So when they see like their internet dad figure like yelling at someone, they're like, hey man, don't do that.
He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is. And
I know. I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button fucked me, dude. Like, can you imagine that button fucking me over like that?
The button fuck you? AB fuck you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are you doing?
So awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke.
Like, people need like heavy words like that to like do their job sometimes.
Those weren't even heavy words. They were just like a slap on the wrist.
No, but when he said like ugly and terrible, like you need kind of words, like descriptive words like that to like, you know, pick up the pace and be like, oh no, this is not just fucking memes. You gotta fucking produce a show.
Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are like not true and he's exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that was what you searched.
I did not type that. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. So far, the most things I'm laughing about all the
Because
H3
it's not that
clips.
big of a deal, man.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I've been missing out on the
How
show.
does it change anything?
So,
People
maybe
knowing that
I've
we
been
did it.
missing out on the
surprise.
show.
Okay, well, tell
Well, that's how it
surprise them on your
I told you
show.
it was
Okay,
good.
all right.
And you were like, no, it's gay. I don't like it.
You know, I understand that
I
that's his
told you,
role, and he's,
H3 's
Ethan's
fucking
made that his
funny.
job,
I
or
think he
Dan's
stole
made it his
humor
job.
from Sam
Ethan leans
Hyde,
on it so.
No, he did.
Yeah, I know. Like I didn't realize that until like probably like last year, or the year.
Oh, you know, he
before.
officially admitted it, right?
I think he did officially admit it on
Yeah.
like an older pod.
Actually, let me keep on.
So heavily. In the same way that he leans on the butt, Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, 2 Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much. All right, I'm gonna move on. I just want to play a song talking about Bad Empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him because he's putting them in this position every day,
This is
right?
so
But it's more
slow.
important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin Mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
What makes Demon Mode different
Wait,
than
here it
Goblin
is.
Mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm
Dude, this thing's so slow.
I genuinely think that Sam Hyde broke Ian. And when he told me, he was like, he came and he
That
was
was
like,
such a
"I'm doing-"
bizarre chapter.
He says, I'm doing a documentary on Sam Hyde. I told him, and Anissa was here. I said, that's a huge mistake. Do not do it. You guys, I don't know who. I said, do not do it. Like, trust me. Because Sam's the type of guy who's going to get the best of you, really.
This is like the light version of his Tourette's. Just
And
slowly pouring a Dr. Pepper.
it turns out he did. And he's even crazier than Ian anticipated.
Right.
He absolutely, I think it just broke him. And I mean, Sam Hyde's like super.
He looks like a Jew that's about to play like a Mexican in a movie.
Like Shia LaBeouf.
Ultra right. So maybe he's just, I don't know. I'm like Sam Hyde now, apparently.
I was talking about it in the.
I don't think Sam thinks very
He has
highly of
some
Jewish
G in the
people either. So I don't know.
I was talking about it in the office the other day, but I didn't know who Sam Hyde was until Idubbbz brought him back in the spotlight.
That's it.
I think a lot of people didn't know who he was, and he kind of brought him back into the limelight, and kind of now he's like popular again.
Yeah, he's popping. And that's all thanks to Ian. Now, I'll say Sam is an extraordinarily funny guy that inspired me a lot when I was coming up. But he's also like, he's just a little crazy. That's, and also like extremely right wing and potentially a Nazi as well.
No, you lost me.
That's why I can't mess with him still.
I mean, he had when he did the World Peace show, there was a sketch where it was just a bunch of kids going, Jews, we love Jewish people.
I mean, bro, like
And I
that was
"This
his
makes
humor
me
too
very
back in the day.
uncomfortable." But that's that.
I don't know.
Sam
You
Hyde,
should have him on the show.
congratulations, you
That would
did
be
break.
legendary.
You need to have him on the show. It'd be funny.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power. They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetical about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off Twitch for 30 days, he goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody wants to prefer Sabra over homemade.
Ethan is just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store, and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra. And that
It's like when Mexicans and like Puerto Ricans like compare like tamales and pastel.
No, it's like when they talk about fucking Taco Bell versus.
Well, that's no, because like you know how like the Jews and the Arabs are arguing about who has the best hummus.
No, what they're just trying to say is that Sabra is
basically like
Jewish hummus.
Yeah,
and they're saying that if you enjoy Sabra, then you're Jewish.
Because I was gonna say it's like when Mexicans talk about like they go to let's say Trader Joe and they have to get Trader Jose salsa instead of getting like
Yeah.
Third world salsa.
Yeah, and this guy's the thing. Oh my god, I'm just gonna play it.
That sucks. That's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the U.S. So what are they left with? They're left with a common.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Arab distribution.
Yeah, it's called halal.
No, it's called going to a gas station. Who do you think owns all those businesses?
The Indians.
No, they're Arab. I was trying to get at.
Oh.
So he's trying to. Well, maybe because you're looking at this from. You're looking at this from like I don't know. I don't really go with that joke, but he's wrong. Any community can go and get their hummus.
Yeah.
He's lying.
Yeah. Well, no, that's true because
I can go to an Arab store. I can go to a Japanese store. I can go to a Chinese store. Anywhere. We live in a multicultural country. So what he's saying, yeah, if you go to the Walmart, yeah, but you're supposed to live like close to other people, so or close to your people. So that's just like a fake excuse.
Yeah. That's like I don't know. I was gonna say some stupid shit. I'll take it back.
I can say it. Say it, but say like a highly censored version if it's crazy.
I was gonna be like, it's like an Irishman that lives around a bunch of spics. Damn it. I can say it because I am one. It's like an Irishman that lives around a bunch of Mexicans. Like, man, where can I find a good Irish pub? It's like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just the fact that the idea that there isn't like an Arab like store, it just seems like doesn't make especially he's just trying to like make a point. He's like, whoa, all these people are fucking internet celebrities. They could get hummus whenever they could make hummus whenever the fuck they want to. So he's just fucking being stupid. Or
he's lying to himself and he's lying to his community.
Yeah. Oh no. I think he's doing that more. He's trying to get them emotional, not emotional, but get them sympathetic and say like, well, the obviously Sabra is bad, but most people can enjoy it. Fucking bullshit. Obviously, he's trying to be sympathetic, trying to gain emotional.
It's kind of like when that woman
gravitas.
It's kind of like when that woman on The View and she was like, "Who's gonna be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?" That's what reminds me of.
I think we went over this before. It wasn't The View. It was the fucking Talk.
Oh my bad, The Talk. Sorry, I didn't know you were tapped into
The Talk.
I didn't know you were.
I literally explained it to you at another episode.
I didn't know you were tapped into like house moms.
Relatable,
like
shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody prefers Sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is fluffy.
Weird.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. And imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never liked hummus. Oh, well, you hate Jews then. I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck, this is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all.
Yeah. Fuck, this is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing. He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions are anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's this incident on the podcast where they were reacting.
I think he's not wrong, but I think the problem is he doesn't want to dig a little deeper. Honestly, I feel like let me finish real quick. I feel like this content cop would have been saved if the content cop decided to travel into more controversial, taboo topics instead of just staying at this. I really think it would have been better if he just like was blunt about it and didn't try to snake around really the problem. But also I feel like because he already dresses the part, Ian over here, he just needs to, just shave his head again. Wear like one of those arm bandages, I think this would have had a lot different. Honestly, probably would have gained a better fan base if it would have happened. But instead, we got this one.
To Cutie Cinderella, and Ethan was laughing during it. It ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella perfect score?
Dude,
A perfect 10 out of 10? Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology. I'm right. 10 out of 10. I know what a perfect apology is.
And both of those, that's the one thing I noticed too when I watched this.
Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one's actually best.
And it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella perfect score?
Bruh.
She looks like
Hold up, I'm gonna turn off the subs for a minute. Subs.
We should make that the thumbnail too.
Nah, this is just for the PC personal collection.
A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology.
This one, too, but this is different. Evokes a different feeling. I don't know. She knows her shit. I was just shitting on Teddy Fresh, you know, but she knows her shit. Not gonna lie.
Sometimes she looks attractive, but then sometimes she doesn't.
So you're saying this isn't attractive?
The last one was better.
Well, I'm talking about in a fashion sense. I'm talking about in Obviously, we know that like you like this one a lot more because it's more down your alley. But this one's you gotta open up your horizons a little bit.
I like ethnic women.
I'm not talking about just like ethnicity. I'm talking about more just fashion. So are you into the fashion world at all?
No, I'm from the hood. Sorry. Like it's cool when you see a girl try to like express herself like with fashion, but like.
But you're more into that fascist. You're not really into that fashion. You're more of a fascist.
I guess you could say that. I just don't like when people dress like very.
So you rather have everyone dress like him and Jack Black and that.
Yeah.
All right. Teach his own.
Best 10 out of 10. I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one is actually best apology. So. Ethan Klein.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying. And, we might learn a thing or two.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Score 10. I said, hey, Lud, no big drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, Idubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade.
This is the weirdest part. I know I'm seeing this a lot. I'm like, this part of the video sucks, blah, blah, blah. That was the weirdest part of the video. He got the guy who made some analysis, some therapist. The guy, I guess he trusts the thing is with Ian now is that he trusts these therapists because I think he's one of these people that assumes that the only way to become a better person is to go to therapy. That's why he keeps on telling Ethan, like, okay, maybe if he just gets help, then he can like return to society, or we can have fun. We could, I don't know, make hair cake or whatever. I thought he assumes that the only thing Ethan needs to do, he just needs to go to therapy and have these people tell him what's wrong with him, and then have him change it and have him go on antidepressants again, and have him get fat, and that's the only way he can be a regular member of society again. So
society wants to neuter people.
Yeah, that's what they're literally telling him. They're like, hey, I can't fuck with you right now. Go to this thing, and then I could start fucking with you again. And then he talks to this guy, and this guy gives him the wrong answer, and he's just like, oh, why didn't he do that? Why didn't he take the propaganda that I sent to him at face value? And then he's like, oh, he sinks.
But that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was
Bring
not
him
illustrated
back?
in previous content cops that I think should have been, and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the
Oh my
I think a lot
gosh.
of other people respect you for as well. I think that's a big reason.
This is like some like retreat like bullshit where you're, or like when when you get into beef with like some kid in school and then the teacher goes like, oh, you guys need to just make it out, or
Just
like
shake hands.
it's, yeah, like you guys aren't gonna be cool to each other. You're just doing this performative bullshit. Like I do think I told you this earlier. I do think maybe Ethan did kind of come at this like the last part maybe at a genuine point, but now that I'm seeing this and I'm hearing him just say like, oh well, I'm doing this now because I want to change the content cop format since I'm bringing it back and I want to make it more positive towards the end. So what he's kind of doing, he's doing that like constructive, like what's it called, constructive cookie mentality, where he goes like negative or positive, negative, positive, but he didn't start out really positive at all. He only doing this forced thing at the end. But I do think I think in his heart he doesn't really want to do this, but he's like at the same time he doesn't have any courage to his convictions, and he'll just do whatever is going to be more popular.
Why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose
Little
to work with
succubus.
you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this
Sean
journey
the
to
Black.
leave behind the anti-SJW.
Why does his camera, like you saw the first one like literally in 4K, and this one's like 720p? Like come on, man. Come on.
Proud and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly,
He looks
when
like
you
that one
are
guy from
being lighthearted.
You know that movie Haunted House?
No.
You know that eats the cookies?
No.
Never mind.
I didn't have cable growing up. But they're
They
just
played it in school.
they're just telling. I didn't pay attention in any of the school movies. I just noticed that again. What they're just telling him, they're like, "Hey, we want you to." It's like how like Kanye or Ye fans tell him like, hey, "Man, I just want the music, man. I don't want all your talking, man. Like, I just want the music." They're just telling him, like, honestly, they probably do want him to be committed too. That's probably the thing. They want to go to rehab and everything. It's crazy. They want him to be
Just have fun with your
over-medicated
friends.
like them.
I think that is when you're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter
Oh my
off because I
gosh.
don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to
No,
start
you
creating
don't.
content. So all
That's
of
the other
this stuff-
thing. I don't know if we were talking about how ruthless these people are. These guys never, like, they never like people who redeem themselves. They never truly get redeemed in the eyes of these people.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's because it's like that thing. Did I say that on here or did I say that off air?
I don't know.
Oh, I did say that on there. So I'm a retard. About the selective compassion.
Yeah.
We're basically like.
The-
They're selectively compassionate to who they want to be compassionate to. Like Idubbbz gets it because he's neutered.
Yeah.
But if Ethan goes down this road that I think he's gonna go down, he's never gonna be redeemed in these people's eyes. He's gonna be like an outcast, and then he can't join like for example, like he'll never be a part of like the Fresh and Fit and Nick and Andrew Tate. He'll never be a part of those guys, but he'll never be part of these guys either. You know what I mean? So he fucked himself. His career, I think his career's gonna be kind of over with.
Nah, I think he still has a fan base. He was still getting views on his H3 thing.
You're right.
Do you think this actually affected him?
Yeah, a little bit. I think people are dumb enough to
Nah, I don't think. I think people don't like Idubbbz enough.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah. Nick,
Like this only has 13, or only a million views. That's like nothing.
Yeah. She should get beat.
I don't know what that has to do with.
Because she's talking.
No, well, she's not talking right now. The video's paused. I'm just saying. I'm like, like the overall effect is not what you.
Well, we gotta wait till
maybe
tomorrow.
maybe for celebrities, yeah. Maybe celebrities are gonna, or like celebs are gonna be like, oh, H3, but they're already probably like that at this point. But I think if he keeps on snapping back at Idubbbz, then he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay as long as he stands his ground, stands on business.
I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks the buzz cut pretty good, and I think he looks.
Oh
He's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's
Yeah, so
really
this
cool
is
what
this
he
is
did
fake.
8
He's in
years
third.
ago fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up. And fighting it, you know, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. It's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense.
He's not crying on Ethan's behalf. That's what I thought the first time I watched this. He's not crying because he feels bad for Ethan. He's crying because he's thinking about how they people harassed Anissa. That's why he's crying right now, because he doesn't want to relive that. And so all those memories are conjuring up in his head, and he's crying because of that. I thought he did this because he was showing some sort of like humanity to Ethan, but no, he's crying because of.
I think whatever humanity was left died with him.
That doesn't always help them.
Well, obviously,
right? Sometimes that makes
he
it
has
worse for them.
emotions. He has some
And
sort
I
of
have
emotion,
been
but
kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up.
wasn't this like the OG podcast setup?
Yeah.
So he's taking like a 7-year-old clip or something like that.
Basically like a 5-year-old
Feeling of almost infallibility that I could take.
So he's trying to say that like he was fucked up like a long time ago too.
Yeah, because they've been saying for the longest, ever since that Bill Burr interview, fuck Bill Burr, by the way. Ever since that Bill Burr interview, people have been saying that, oh yeah, Ethan needs help, he's fucked up, People have been saying
anything
this for
on.
years already.
It led me to make.
But what I'm saying is that he thinks now is the cutting line, but he's using an old clip.
Yeah.
It
a
doesn't
lot
make any
of
sense.
mistakes, and then when I was
Well, I mean, we
criticized
were
for
trying to
those
show that
mistakes,
Ethan's always
then I would act extremely
But why? But
defensive.
again, he's doing the Drake and Josh thing where he's waiting until it's a good time to show that he's fucked up. When he said in the beginning of the video, he's like, well, you've been doing a lot of bad decisions recently.
And nasty, and not really processing them in a healthy way.
It's disgusting. This guy's disgusting.
Fuck,
well, honestly, what I'm gonna say is all the people.
Podcast.
Sorry, all the people. What I got when I watched this video, and I told you this earlier, the problem with all these people is that only Ian maybe he has some of it, but none of these people are Christian, or they only have like a Protestant or Catholic, whatever, like upbringing. So these guys, like, they're just ruthless. I think Ian's like, he kind of, I'm just saying this because he's white and he grew up, I'm assuming he probably grew up at least like Protestant on some level, but all these, even the H3 people, like everyone here sucks. It's like what Harry Kissinger said, why can't they both lose? For now, I want to see H3 like bring Sam Hyde or whatever on the show. It'll be good content, but in general, all these people suck. All these people, they suck. They're in LA. He's promoting a scam boxing event. That's let's see, that's like that. Now it's not even for charity. It's just, oh, you got to pay to be there. It just sucks. Like, none of these these people are devoid of any humanity.
You know what we need to do?
We just need to make videos, and we need to not like fall into this trap. That's why I'm gonna say celibate my whole entire life, because if once you lose it, you just become this guy.
No, I don't think that was his problem. I think his problem is he's a wife guy.
Well, it's kind of like if inevitably, if you start from making hair cake and then you get a girlfriend on the way, you're automatically going to come over here. You're going to get to this point.
Well, yeah, because he was probably low on tea to begin with.
I mean, that doesn't prove a point because
low on tea let their women run their life.
Well, Boogie 298 like has no testosterone. He doesn't let women ruin his life. He was actually going in. I was watching him on Low Count. Honestly, Boogie 298 and Keemstar make a good combo. I was watching the shows; it's a really good combo, and he knows that Idubbbz fucked up in the head, so that says a lot. That Boogie 298, someone with no tea, knows what's right and what's wrong. That's the last thing I gotta say. Welcome. That's the last of the special emergency broadcast of the Black Truth. You didn't have to say that. Now we lost monetization. Fuck.